Welcome back, everyone. I'm JTXRP, and today we're actually going to be talking about Block again, and we're interviewing another founder as well as another board member, and we have Josh Qually here today with us. Is that right?
You betcha.
I got it
Joshua
right.
Qually. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Joshua. Well, today we're going to be interviewing him and his thoughts about Block, but we know that each of these members are in they're leaders of different projects themselves. So first I wanted to give him a chance to talk about himself and his project, and then we'll go into all the other things as we normally do with all the other board members and founders of Block. So Josh, tell us a little bit about yourself and your project.
Well, hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. JT, thank you for making time for this. So let's, I guess we'll start from the basics, and then we'll kind of go from there. Throughout my youth, starting at about 3.5, I trained in martial arts. I toured all over Canada. I trained in a variety of martial arts. I guess I'll go chronologically. Taekwondo, Goju Kai, Goju, boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, Wing Chun, Hungar, and Ninjutsu, with special training in nunchuck, sai, tonfa, bow staff, swords, butterfly knife, whatever I could pick up. I mean, it gets to the point where it just it's kind of you just get used to using anything you got, like a pen or whatever. But yes, weapons was a lot of fun, doing demonstrations. Later on, after I got older, got into the workforce, I didn't have as much time, of course, trying to develop my own life, pay bills, get sucked into the trying to further my business career. Mm-hmm. And at some point I came up to Grand Prairie and got into the oil field. I realized that the oil field wasn't going to be a great long-term thing for me. It wasn't my passion. And it was a lot of money, but a lot of stress and a lot of danger. It's a very dangerous job, and so then I tried to transition myself out of that into a more office type role, of which I got myself a job as a parts person, but in specifically as a purchaser. And so my job as a purchaser kind of took me through to get all of my hours to get a registered trade in Canada called Red Seal Parts Person. Now, what the Red Seal does is it allows me to work in any province in the country without having to recertify. So I can go work anywhere. And what a parts person trade does is it's a general skill set that covers everything from management training to different parts that you would find in many different industries. Also teaches you about the different supply chain, not specifically like a supply chain management course, but it covers a lot of the things that would be in supply chain management. And so as a purchaser for an E&I company, electrical and instrumentation, then I would be handling large scale projects, of which my largest year purchasing for myself as a purchaser, I was responsible for around $6 million in purchasing, of which I would find the parts, pieces, components right in the invoices, process the parts, make sure they needed to get to where they were going to, and they get delivered and all that kind of stuff. And then when, of course, cryptocurrency started slowing down, crypto, I was watching it while I was doing parts. I was watching it, and I hadn't jumped the gun yet. COVID started, I got laid off, and I had a lot of savings. And so I decided, you know what, it's time. I'm going to try to pursue my passion. So I knew I wanted to make NFTs. Mm-hmm. And but I didn't know how, because I'm not a real, I wouldn't say I'm a martial artist, but I'm not like a hand draw kind of artist. Like you could give me an airbrush and a crayon. I'd be good with crayons.
Okay.
Yeah, honestly. So but for martial arts, I knew that, yeah, there was a way that I could adapt something. And so Physcials and physical digital items, and blending physical and digital, and then making something digital and going physical, is kind of where I wanted to tailor my skill set. I created a video NFT project of 507 NFTs, which it minted out on the Songbird network. And then I wanted to go cross-chain, because one of the things that I did realize is that the industry changes very, very fast, and you have to be maneuverable with it if you wanted to be able to survive. And I noticed that a lot of projects were all about flipping. They were about quick sales. There was a lot of rugs, a lot of rugs of various sorts. And it really pissed me off because what I was trying to do is I was trying to use my parts person training and my professional training to run a real business. And so when I did my white paper, it was shortly after I had already passed my red seal. And so I did it in a way that you would do any kind of a business proposal, and you would take it to the bank and you'd get a loan and that kind of thing. So this is how I kind of designed my whole business. Now, my white paper, if you look for it, you won't be able to find it because I literally transformed the white paper into my website.
Okay.
The website is my white paper, has everything you need to know about the business, where I'm going, what I'm doing, and some of it is just ongoing because if you could have told me 6 months ago that this market was going to crash and that FTX was going to crash, I would say you're crazy.
Yeah, right.
If you could, the amount of things that have happened in the last 2 years that have never happened in the history of mankind before, that we've never seen before, black swan events. I mean, nobody can guess those things. Except for, maybe people that plan them. But besides that, that's a whole nother conversation. But besides that, what I'm trying to do is trying to run a holders project, not a flippers project, a holders project that caters to a different kind of clientele. I'm looking for people that are professionals, that are investor mindset, that are going to spend time to research projects, that are looking for less risk. And so one of the ways that I create less risk for an investor is by transparency. I try to be radically transparent, not only with myself and my business and the funds in a cryptocurrency kind of way, in that you can see the wallets, the transactions, what they're doing, where they're going, and all that kind of thing. And then also provide continual communication with holders and anyone else. So I'm also listed on Google. People can get my phone number, they can get my house address, and my cybersecurity practices are to a point where I'm not concerned with people hacking me or what have you. So so one of the things, of course, trying to run a legitimate business, is that if you're trying to run a legitimate business in a bad part of town and your clientele keeps on getting robbed, then that's money that cannot go to legitimate business. Mm-hmm. So when I looked at what the Bloc was doing, I noticed it was proactive in their approach and their methodology and trying to bring up the bar, and I wanted to be part of that. Now, was someone had reached out to me in my circle and said, "Hey, there's this position here. You might want to check this out." So that kind of is what took me to the Bloc.
Gotcha. No, I appreciate that. And so now you're here. That's how you got here. And you're currently what position?
I'm a security officer with the Bloc. My job at the Bloc in particular, although I haven't seen a kind of like a job thing, it's not a paid position, it's volunteer. I like to state that, is that I volunteer my time. But what it is when there's auditing to be done, I would go through and people would fill out the information about their particular project, and then I would go to verify that what they're saying is accurate. And if there's any blockchain sleuthing that I have to do, then that's what I'll do, and then bring up any discrepancies and that kind of thing, and have interviews and meet people and make sure that they're doing what they're saying they're doing, quite simply.
Yep. So you'll also be in charge of anyone else that is doing auditing, right? So you're going to be like that person that's ensuring that quality on that side. So you're like the man that, yeah, they're going to be hunting, like you said, hunting and sleuthing after them if there's something up. So
I think that a lot of people that know me too know that I'm a no BS kind of guy.
Yeah.
And even if there's anything that I notice within the Bloc, I'm going to bring that up instantly. Yep. And I want to make sure that I'm working for an organization that I can respect, that is acting, is doing what it says, is saying what it's doing. And how many times over the years I've worked for oil field companies where they had these really nice slogans and they had all this beautiful training, and so much of what they did was completely opposite. And I walked from a lot of jobs and I don't mind walking from jobs, and especially a volunteer position.
Yeah, right.
But in this regard, I'm happy because what I'm seeing is a lot of processes that are trying to design. They're designing themselves in a way that there's steps against nepotism, against conflicts of interest, and that kind of thing, and really trying to set the bar high in terms of the projects that do get onboarded. We're going to know that, of course, they're going to be the ones internally first. And even my project is going to have to get audited too. I'll have to fill out the same paperwork as everyone else, but I'm not going to be doing that auditing myself. Someone else will do that. So there are checks and balances there, and people are definitely comfortable enough to bring up things that they see as discrepancies, and then we go through to make sure that we put checks in place for those.
Yeah, I could say about the block, there's definitely differences in opinion sometimes, but usually it's over, you know, again, how to go about how to be the best above board. And it's usually just like, well, what is the best way to go about doing that? And to be, or what does it mean to be transparent in the situation? What does it mean to have, integrity in the situation? And what are the standards we're going to set? And so those are always incredible conversations that I definitely appreciate, your insight, Joshua, and being a part of. So what would you want to tell people? You've already told people a little bit about your position and your background. What would you tell people that want to join Block? Or why would you encourage others to join Block or other projects? Like, what have you found to be different, or what sold you? I mean, you maybe have gone into a little bit, but if you want to elaborate more,
I would say it's really about trust but verify. And there's a lot of unknowns for investors and for people in this space. There's a lot of bad practices that continually happen. And if you want to be a part of the solution and want to operate a legitimate business and be transparent to your community, and try to be on the right side of things, knowing that eventually laws are going to change, regulations are going to come in, and you want to do your best to make sure that you're keeping at the front line of changes as they happen, and trying to be part of that solution. Then I would definitely say the block is one of the to meet the criteria to get in is not going to be, it's not an easy feat, right? There's a lot of things that the block is going to ask you to do that are not that other places, like, you're not going to be able to buy your way in. This is going to be something that you're either making the bar or you're not. And just to give some examples, like, are you what are your wallets? What are you using them for? What are you do you have a long-term plan? Are you just doing onesie twosies, or are you going to be doing a real project? Are you trying to run a real business? How is that funded? And there's so many questions that that go through to that you'd go through to be part of to make it into the block. And so when people get to see the list of what someone has to go through to be in here, then you can be assured that there's been Block is trying to do their utmost to make sure that the business is not a rug. Of course, that does not guarantee that business is not a rug, because even in a standard, like, everyday kind of world, there's still people that fail a number of times before they succeed. But at the block, at least, we're going to be trying to do our most to make sure that people are here for the right reasons, and they're trying to do the right thing for their communities.
Yep. And also what's cool is you get to gather together to help forward the issue, or to progress, blockchain together, right? I mean, you have different, have you seen, or have you been a part of a community like the block before, or have you seen anything like it?
Well, there's the XRPL Gaming Alliance, but it's not like the block. The block is very structured. It's got it's very much like a professional organization.
What is a
Non-governmental
501c3?
It's
So out of Texas. Yeah.
Yes, it's a registered 501c3 nonprofit, right? So yeah, it's not like it's not Mickey Mouse. Let's just say that it's for professionals. It's for people that want to be professionals, that want to be around for the long term and be part of the wave going forward.
Yep, shaping that space. Well, definitely great getting to know you even better. I didn't know you had that. I knew you had a background in martial arts. I didn't know you had that extensive of a background in martial arts. So it was definitely even better just getting to know you outside of like the normal conversations. But if you have any questions for Joshua, make sure to reach out to him on his website. His links will be in the description below, or if I remember to do so in a pinned comment, which I should do. But yes, Joshua, is there anything else you'd want to say to the community before we end up here?
No, I would just like to say thank you very much for your time. And I hope that you have a look at the block if you're a legitimate project. And if you can go through the process, although some of it is a little bit more demanding in terms of the transparency that's required, I would think that you would know that the other side of it is well worth it.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you so much, Joshua. And I'm JTXRP, and we're out.